Hello, YouTube. iBankerU. Stand by for news. What are we doing, world? What is wrong with this picture? You tell me. Seriously, comment below and hold nothing back. But can you believe this? Starting this fall, Salamanca High School in rural New York will become the first school in the nation to have a robot teaching children. Oh, not just any robot. This one comes from Realbotix. Look them up. Don't take my word for it. Hit pause. Realbotix.ai. Are you back? And did you see it? You went to their homepage, right? You saw it? Yes? The corn star looking female humanoid robot. The above the fold tagline, AI powered robots for companionship, entertainment, and customer service. You got that? Yes, dear viewer, they are a sex robot manufacturer. Well, if you live in Salamanca High School district in New York, guess who's going to start teaching your children? Meet Sally. She mimics every corn stereotype imaginable, right down to the way over injected silicon lips. Welcome to the future, America. A human teacher is out, sex robots are in, and your kids have no choice in the matter. How many times do you suppose we will see this repeat in the coming years? As a child of the 80s and 90s, all I can say is, kids, believe me, there was a better time and a better way. There was a time when a child's first teacher was a mother's voice. Before the alphabet came from a screen, it came from a bedtime story. You got real hugs and high fives when you sang, "Now I know my ABCs," without missing any of the 26. Before a child learned the meaning of love from an algorithm, they learned it from a parent's embrace. Before a machine answered every question, a grandfather sat on a porch and explained how the world worked. And you never forgot, and you were better off for it. But something remarkable is happening now. Something that would have sounded like impossible, crazy talk only half a generation ago, maybe even a couple of years ago. The same technology that can write a novel, create a song, diagnose a disease, and imitate a human conversation is now moving into the most important classroom on earth, the classroom inside a child's mind. And the question we must ask is whether technology is powerful. We already know it is. But the real question is, who is teaching the teachers? Because the next great battle may not be over oil, and it may not be over gold. It may not even be over artificial intelligence itself. It may be over something far more valuable: human connection. In 1965, a cartoon show imagined a family living in the future. The Jetsons. I used to watch them. Maybe you did too. A world of flying cars, robot maids, and machines that handled every inconvenience. It was for entertainment, fantasy, a joke. But every generation eventually discovers something uncomfortable. The future rarely arrives exactly as predicted. It arrives quietly, one convenience at a time. The machine that saves you 5 minutes, the app that remembers what you like, the assistant that knows your schedule, the algorithm that knows what you watch, and then one day you look around and realize the machine does not just help organize your life, it has started participating in it. Today, artificial intelligence companions are no longer science fiction. Millions of people already interact daily with AI systems designed to answer questions, provide encouragement, simulate friendship, and create emotional attachment. And now, technology companies are exploring something even more profound, using artificial intelligence to teach, mentor, and influence children. Now, supporters of this technology make an argument worth considering, and they're not entirely wrong. There are millions of children around the world who do not have access to excellent teachers. There are children struggling with mathematics, reading, science, and languages. A personified AI tutor available 24 hours a day could be revolutionary. Imagine a child in a rural town having access to the equivalent of the world's greatest teachers. That is the promise, and it's a powerful promise. But every powerful tool comes with a powerful question. Who controls it? Because education has never simply been about information. A calculator can solve a math problem, but it cannot teach courage. A dictionary can define a word, but it cannot teach wisdom. A machine can repeat the history of Abraham Lincoln, but it cannot look into the eyes of a child and explain what leadership costs. The most important lessons in life are rarely downloaded. They are absorbed from people, from experiences, from relationships. And that brings us to the uncomfortable conversation. The technology industry has always followed incentives. That is not a criticism. It is simply economics. Companies build what customers pay for. Investors fund what creates returns. And artificial intelligence represents one of the largest economic opportunities in human history. The education market alone is enormous. Global education spending reaches trillions of dollars. Every child represents a potential customer. Every classroom represents a potential subscription. Every interaction represents data, and data is the new oil. The companies that understand human behavior have an extraordinary advantage because the most valuable information is not knowing that something or what someone bought. It is knowing what someone believes, what someone fears, what someone desires, or what someone hopes for. And a child's developing mind is perhaps the most valuable data set imaginable. This is where the debate becomes bigger than artificial intelligence. It becomes a debate about incentives. A parent teaches a child because of love. A teacher teaches because of purpose. A company builds technology because it must create value for shareholders. These motivations can overlap, but they are not identical. A parent asks, what is best for my child? But what does a company ask? A company asks, what creates a sustainable business model? What's profitable? Those questions sometimes lead to the same answer, but history teaches us they don't always. Consider another technology revolution, social media. When it began, it promised connection, and it delivered. Families separated by oceans could communicate instantly. Old friends could reconnect. Information could be spread faster than ever before. But over time, society discovered another truth. The same systems designed to connect humanity could also exploit human psychology. Attention became currency. Outrage became profitable. Addiction became measurable. And the product was not the platform. Oh no, the product was you. It was you, dear user. It was you. The lesson was not that technology was evil. The lesson was that incentives matter. Now imagine the next evolution. A child does not simply scroll through a feed. A child develops a relationship with a machine that remembers every conversation, but also every fear, every insecurity, every question, every emotional vulnerability. Again, the technology itself is not automatically good or bad. A hammer can build a house. A hammer can break a window. The question is, who holds it? And what are they trying to build? There is another issue, rarely discussed. Human beings are shaped by struggle, by patience, by failure, by disappointment. A child who struggles through a difficult math problem learns persistence. A child who has an uncomfortable conversation learns empathy. A child who loses a game learns humility. And a child who waits learns patience. But what happens when every frustration can immediately be eliminated? When every question receives an instant answer? When every lonely moment can be filled? When every disagreement can be avoided? We may create a generation that knows everything, but has experienced very little. The irony is that as technology becomes more advanced, the most valuable human skills may become the oldest ones. Trust, integrity, leadership, communication, and creativity and judgment. The ability to look another human being in the eye and understand them. The skills that machines can imitate but never truly possess. And perhaps that is the great lesson of this moment. Artificial intelligence is not the enemy, but it is a mirror, and it reflects our priorities. If we use it to replace human responsibility, we will weaken ourselves. If we use it to expand human potential, we may accomplish things previously unimaginable. The danger is not that machines become more human. The danger is that humans become more like machines. Efficient, predictable, and optimized, but disconnected. Because at the end of the day, every child still needs something no algorithm can manufacture. Someone who believes in them, someone who sacrifices for them, someone who teaches them not just what to think, but how to think. Somebody who says, you are not a customer, you are not a data point, you are not a product, you are a human being. The future will have smarter machines. That much is certain. The question is whether we will also build wiser humans. Because technology can create a perfect imitation of a teacher, but only a person can be a mentor. Only a parent can provide unconditional love. Only another human being can pass along invisible things that make civilization possible. Character, faith, courage, and compassion. And perhaps the greatest technology ever created was never artificial intelligence. It was the human heart. And somewhere tonight, an 80-year-old grandfather is watching all of this unfold. He's looking at a pouty silicone-lipped female humanoid robot that can teach calculus, translate languages, and perhaps even explain quantum physics. But he shakes his head and he says, that's mighty impressive. And then he looks over at his grandson and says, now ask that thing if it can fix a leaky faucet, back up a trailer, or explain why your grandmother is mad at me all the time. The robot will probably have an answer. And the grandfather won't believe it. And the grandmother will still win the argument. Build that stack. iBankerU. Good day.